Yeah, the last video blew up for some dumb reason. Heck, even as of recording this, this like a little intro that you guys totally watched 35 seconds ago is out of date. Um, so I guess I've just now dedicated the full firepower of my massive hubris, this big brain, to make only the highest quality garbage this side of the internet. So make sure you guys subscribe because, well, you know, look at that statistic right there. And, well, you guys now know the history of the Trump Taj Mahal, democracy, and the meat grinder, or probably just one of those. Um, but so you should go watch the other ones. They're great videos. Wink, 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 wink. Well, speaking of firepower, I guess it's time to expand to a more explosive market. The AGM-114 in missile, or simply known by the average 12-year-old Call of Duty player as the Predator missile, is a wonderful piece of tactics capable of not only just getting a 6-player kill streak, but also for use against armored vehicles. But here in the United States, anti-armor weapons may as well be used on just people as well, so just womp, you know? Like when we fucking blew up like a terrorist general a couple years ago or something with a version of this missile that spits out knives, like, I don't know, it's like Kakashi or something, you know? We just hit him with the Kamehameha. Like, they named this thing the Fire and Forget missiles. So when the people who made this thing, who made this thing? Look at me, Lockheed. Of course, it's Lockheed Martin. You know, these guys know what they're doing. Because they produce things like all the cool fighter planes. Yeah, they make all sorts of funny stuff. But anyway, the Hellfire missile is also what is classified as a vacuum bomb. A vacuum bomb, now, is a goofy little thing that basically crushes your fucking lungs and can cause blindness, which honestly is like the least of your fucking worries, because the pressure wave that's caused from the little explosion, you know, basically Darth Vader's your bitch ass. So if that doesn't shrivel up your balls, I don't know what will, man. The missile began its development back in 1974. You know what else happened in 1974? Richard Nixon kicking himself out of the Oval Office. What's the connection, you ask? Nothing. I just thought it would be neat to tell you. At that time, the U.S. Army required a tank buster that could be fired from a helicopter, which at that time would be either the Viper or the Cobra. To me, they're the same helicopter, you know, to take down armored targets, well, you know, like tanks. Hence why they needed a tank buster. Mainly tanks. Ding! So the boys at R&D went to work for about, 20-ish years. Fast forward, it's now the 1990s. The Soviet Union collapsed, the Berlin Wall falls, culture peaks, and the internet is released to the public, and some pretty cool shooter games, and a handful of RPGs, but mainly shooter games. And I guess around this time they just finished making the Hellfire system, and I guess while they put this thing in the microwave, they cooked out a couple of variants for excelling in different areas of, I guess, target destruction, you could say. You got the anti-tank, you got the anti-tank, and you got the laser-guided version of it, you know? Like the one from the new Top Gun movie. I don't think that's the same bomb, but let's just say it is. It is the same bomb. now that this 100-pound bomb is ready to cause some serious mayhem, it's time to strap it also onto the recently developed at that time, the MQ-1 Predator drone and the MQ-9 Reaper drone. You know, the ones from Call of Duty. Yeah. So this goofy little thing would become the kill streak that future U.S. presidents would exploit the ever-living shit out of. I mean, I'm looking at you, buddy. Actually, no. You use the other thing. You use the AC-130. This guy, however, this guy used it a lot. I mean, he's pretty funky for some of the stuff he's done. To people. I guess we can move on to operational history. The UK, the United Kingdom, Britain, not so Great Britain. These guys have a tendency to look at their more superior comrades in arms and either do the exact opposite of what they're doing, make a worse version of an already existing weapons platform, or just outright buy the stuff everyone else is using. The hell yeah. So, and with, you know, the tallies, you know, the Taliban on the loose in Afghanistan being the little villains that they are, and I guess the Brits wanting to take a little, what is my wording on this one? Wanting to have some of the action on the war on terror. They wanted some additional firepower, so, or the, you know, I mean, you know, to help make more money for our politicians. Like what? Like fight terrorism? What's that? So they got like 20 of these Hellfire missiles and said, "Oi, bruv, we'll use them as a last resort, right?" And they called it a night. I don't know. That's what I read, and me being a veteran of the internet, I believe everything that I read. So yeah, moving on. There is one nation I can't exactly mention due to the sensitivity of a certain topic, but let's just say they blew up the founder of a certain terror organization, and the guys that blew him up happened to be a pal of the U.S. since, you know, 1947. They also used this missile to fire at a civilian airliner. I mean, that, you know, illegally entered their airspace, thus making it the first AA kill for the Hellfire. I don't know, man. I'll let you figure out who it is. In 2014, back when we were very, very silly, actually, we're still a little silly today, with the U.S., you know, we had a little bit of an oopsie daisy and sent one of these missiles to Cuba. But before you freak out, it was a dummy version. Literally, it was just like a training version that was stripped of all the important crap shoved inside. We gave them a nothing sandwich of a missile. And Cuba gave it back to us because I guess they're like, what are we going to do with this? Also because we could crush their little island in 5 seconds. Unless you're JFK. Speaking of which, he can rest easy that day. Truly mind-blowing stuff right here. And now, we can move on to my personal favorite segment of this video. The AGM R9X segment, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, the AGM R9X. This was mentioned at the beginning of the video, and so now that you know why we made it, how it works, and some other silly things about it, mainly making fun of Britain and that one silly incident in Cuba, I like, you know, the AGM R9X, like, this bad boy is, he's a little nuts, he's a little freaky. It's packed with a kinetic warhead, which, as explained earlier in the video, I guess a kinetic warhead instead of launching explosives, it launches projectiles with explosives on them. Or in this case, knives. Literal knives. With boom sticks on them. Boomsticks? Little explosions on them. And they called this thing the ninja missile. Because imagine getting burned by a fucking large tube that launches knives at you. Like, you may as well call this thing the Trump Stumper, man. Because let's just say some fuckers died like a dog. You know, just democracy at its finest. You know? So, well, that's it for today. Waited 2 weeks for this truly spectacular video. So, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Blow up the like button like we blew up Wissam Soleimani. And maybe leave a comment on how you use this knowledge given to you today. Also, by the way, this missile costs like $150,000 a piece. So, for any of you guys who are thinking of getting a house, forget the house. Just buy the missile. You can do so much more with a missile than a house. You can blow up houses with missiles. So, I know you guys want it. Bye-bye. That was kind of gay. I don't know why I said bye like that. I don't know. Later, fellas.
I scum! No prisoners!